Welcome to a journey of hidden power, where history, mystery, and value unite to transform something small into something unforgettable. Today, we unlock a story that feels less like collecting and more like discovering a treasure written in metal. Let's get started. This video explores one powerful coin, the UK British 1948 Two Shilling coin, bearing the GR marking, a coin whose legacy shines brighter with every passing decade. The story begins in the aftermath of World War II, a time when Britain was rebuilding its identity, its economy, and its currency. Every coin minted in 1948 carries the invisible fingerprints of a nation rising again. And this 2 shilling piece stands right at the center of that history. The 1948 2 shilling coin belongs to the era of King Georgevi, whose initials, GR, represent Georgius Rex, meaning King George in Latin. His reign oversaw dramatic global changes, and the coins issued under him became powerful symbols of strength and continuity. This coin was created at a time when Britain was transitioning from old systems to modern currency standards. Silver had already been removed from circulating coinage, but the designs continued to represent royalty, tradition, and national pride. That's why this coin looks bold, strong, and unmistakably British. Collectors today value this coin for more than its face value. They value it for its historical voice, for the era it represents, and for the fact that fewer high-grade examples survive compared to later British coins. Each surviving 1948 piece represents a piece of history preserved against time. The coin features the crowned English lion standing confidently on the shield, a design that symbolizes protection, power, and monarchy. It carries not just metal, but meaning. Each detail tells a story of empire, resilience, and national symbolism. The real reason this coin is considered valuable among collectors is because it belongs to a period when coins were used heavily every single day. Most were worn down, lost, or melted. But when a collector finds one in pristine condition, the coin becomes something rare, something worth showing, preserving, and investing in. This is why sealed, protected, and uncirculated examples of the 1948 2 shilling coin are often treated like treasure. The better the condition, the higher the potential selling price, the greater the future desirability, and the stronger its investment impact becomes. Many collectors hunt for this exact date because it represents the early post-war era, a period of transformation that gives the coin an emotional and historical premium. And yes, premium is exactly what increases its value over time. The maximum value for this coin rises the closer it gets to perfection. Highly preserved or mint-state pieces can reach impressive numbers, sometimes soaring into the $200 to $350 range, depending on shine, strike, and collector demand. Exceptional examples, coins sealed early and protected for decades, can move even higher, especially when paired with strong eye appeal or certification by respected grading companies. In these cases, the value becomes a showpiece rather than a simple collectible. When you hold this coin, you're not just holding money, you're holding a chapter of British heritage that continues to grow more desirable as years pass. Age adds value, rarity adds value, condition adds value, and this coin has all three elements in its favor. Should you keep it? Absolutely, because coins like this grow in both financial worth and historical importance. Holding onto it allows the value to climb naturally as collectors continue competing for the best 1948 survivors. Should it be sealed? Yes, sealing protects its surfaces from moisture, scratches, fingerprints, and the slow fading of luster. Protection leads directly to maximum profit potential. A sealed coin is a powerful statement. This piece was meant to last. Future buyers want brilliance, sharpness, and originality. When you preserve those characteristics, you're not just keeping a coin, you're keeping an investment alive. Every layer of protection increases long-term earning potential. Imagine presenting this coin years from now, still flawless, still powerful, still shining with the story of King Georgevi. That is how collectors achieve top-tier value, and how a simple 2-shilling coin becomes a treasure worth showcasing. So treasure your 1948 GR 2-shilling coin. Treat it as history, art, and investment combined, because every year that passes makes it rarer, more desired, more admired, and potentially more profitable. And in the world of collectible currency, few things rise in value like a well-preserved piece from a defining moment in British history. Your 1948 2-shilling coin isn't just valuable, it's a rising star. Next coin, this is the 1949 British 2 shillings coin, often called a florin, from the reign of King Georgevi. On the obverse you see his bare head, facing left, with the inscription georgevisvidgbron rex, George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons. On the reverse, there is a crowned Tudor rose, flanked by a thistle and a shamrock, with the letters GR dividing the design, and below that the words 2 shillings, 1949. The coin is made of copper nickel, weighing about 11.31 grams, and has a diameter of roughly 28.3. It was struck at the Royal Mint in London, and the mintage for 1949 was very high, about 28.6 million pieces. Historically, this coin marks a period of post-war Britain. Under the Coinage Act of 1946, silver was eliminated from the florin, so unlike earlier florins, the 1949 version is not silver but copper nickel. It continued to circulate for decades. Even after decimalization in 1971, these florins were revalued as 10 new pence and remained legal tender until around 1993. Because of its large mintage, the 1949 florin is not extremely rare. According to UK Coin Catalogue, its typical value today is relatively modest, from 28 pence up to £16 in top uncirculated condition. Other sources like coinvalue suggest a value from 5 pence, very worn, up to £10+ for uncirculated specimens. On Florin, the range in USD is approximately 69 cents to $6.39, depending on condition. Numista, based on user-collected sales data, shows for the 1949 florin that good G condition can go for around 23 cents, very fine VF around 71 cents, and uncirculated examples around $1.20. Now you might be wondering, is this coin just a low-value common piece with no future? Actually, no, there is a strong case to argue that it can become more valuable, and you should feel excited about its long-term potential. Yes, its current market value might seem modest, but that's exactly where its opportunity lies. First, think about collectability. Coins like this are the building blocks of type collections. Collectors often hunt for complete georgevi florin sets, 1949-1951, and a well-preserved 1949 is a key date in that run. As more people take interest in British pre-decimal coinage, demand for common but solid condition florins could rise steadily. Second, consider historical significance. This coin was minted right when Britain was rebuilding after World War II during the early post-war era. The shift from silver to base metal in its composition, copper-nickel, also reflects changing economics and resource priorities of the time. That narrative gives the coin a deeper story, which appeals to historical collectors. Third, survivor condition matters. While many of these coins were circulated heavily and show wear, some examples were tucked away, preserved over time, and are now surfacing in surprisingly good condition. If someone holds on to such a coin for decades, its rarity in higher grades could grow. As fewer of them remain in pristine condition, collectors will pay up for uncirculated or near-uncirculated pieces. Fourth, there's speculative potential. Let's imagine a future where vintage British coins see resurgence, perhaps due to nostalgia, increased interest in numismatics, or more awareness of British monetary history. In that scenario, a 1949 florin might command prices well beyond today's common ranges. Even if it doesn't reach extremely high values, it could gradually appreciate to, say, $20.30 or more for high-grade examples, especially if demand outpaces supply for well-preserved specimens. Fifth, it's a solid entry-level collectible. For someone just starting coin collecting, investing in a 1949 2-shilling coin is low risk. The cost is low now, so upside potential is attractive. And if you hold the coin, not just as spare change, but as a piece of history, you could very well watch its value quietly climb over years or decades. Sixth, in the context of long-term legacy, a coin like this could be part of a heritage collection. Handing it down or keeping it with a story gives it sentimental as well as numismatic worth. That intangible aspect often fuels collector demand. Seventh, auction dynamics. Should a particularly nice 1949 florin in uncirculated or near-uncirculated condition appear at an auction or on a serious dealer's listing, it could spark competitive bidding. Even if most examples sell for a few dollars now, a rare high-grade specimen could fetch multiples of the standard market rate, especially among UK or Commonwealth collectors. Eighth, market trends favor moderate risk/moderate reward. Unlike super rare or ultra-precious coins, this florin is accessible. It doesn't require a huge upfront investment. That makes it a potential sleeper coin, undervalued now but capable of gradual growth. Ninth, collecting momentum. As younger generations discover numismatics, simpler, affordable coins with open supply but historical charm are ideal choices. A 1949 florin bridges that gap, old enough to be historic, common enough to be affordable, and interesting enough to spark passion. 10th, the psychological appeal. When someone tells you, yeah, that old coin you have in your drawer, it's a 1949 georgevi florin, one of the few left in uncirculated shape that still fits the set you're building, that feels powerful. It's not just money, it's a piece of Britain's past. So what maximum value could you reasonably hope for in a bullish but realistic scenario? If you find a pristine, uncirculated 1949 florin many decades from now, and demand for georgevi-type coins surges, it is not beyond imagination that it could sell for $20.50 or possibly even higher among dedicated collectors, especially if these top-grade coins become increasingly scarce in great condition. That's speculative, yes, but far from unrealistic given collecting trends. At today's market, most examples will likely stay between $1 and $6 unless grade is exceptional. But if someone buys a nice one now, stores it safely and waits, they could see real appreciation, turning a modest investment into a collectible gem. That potential makes your 1949 2 shillings coin very valuable, not just as old currency, but as a future numismatic asset. In short, your 1949 British florin is not just a piece of old penny scrap. It's a tangible slice of history, a coin with story, and with patience, a candidate to grow in worth as collectors continue to cherish the legacy of King Georgevi's era. Hold onto it, track its condition, and you might well witness its value rise as more people rediscover how magical even ordinary old coins can become.